I love him there. You know, I think Senio is the real deal at that spot. He's athletic enough to handle it, but he still brings a physical nature about his game, and he's got a leadership quality about him that I think is really solid. He's really taken some ownership of the group.
So you've seen him make gains in that?
Yeah, he really has. I just think he's maturing. You know, you got to remember a year and a half ago, he's a defensive lineman, and then he switched over to the O-line. It took a little time, but now the entire off season, he's confident, he's trusting his technique, and he's understanding the scheme so much more.
What happened with Clarence?
Well, he just wasn't for him. You know, wanted to focus back on basketball and on schoolwork, and I can respect that.
You couldn't talk about this the other day, but having Cameron a defensive end, I guess when you lose another guy there, does that help want to make you do that, or?
Well, it just, you know, right now Deshaun isn't 100% either, and so we're just looking for some bodies that can do it. I think it'll help us for the fall. You know, we don't anticipate Cameron being a full-time defensive end, but when some situations against some more physical teams, him to have some experience now doing it, it's an easy transition for him in the fall.
And Nate Williams, he was out a little bit today?
Yeah, he banged his head a little bit. Nothing serious. We just, you know, our young safeties need to work anyway, so to get those guys those reps, it's good for them.
How does Schamberger look? He got a lot of work.
Yeah, I think good. You know, and he's been coming on. You know, I think he's getting more comfortable and more comfortable. You know, he didn't have to sit out an entire year. I'm anxious to look at this film when we did some live stuff today where he had to fit up and tackle to see what it looks like.
Steve, talking to Cameron, he said that he really liked the position because it might help him with his neck, and it also just seems to he seems to, I don't know, maybe fit it better just in terms of coming off the edge with one guy as opposed to in the middle. Are you seeing some benefits for him coming off the edge?
Well, I think he's still active. You know, sometimes when you move a bigger guy from inside to outside, they're not quite as active because of the speed, but he's staying active. So there is some benefit there for him to get on an edge and rush on one guy. But, you know, in a perfect world, I'd love to have him back at 3 technique and be disruptive because, to me, that is the most important position on that defensive line. So, but it's good for him to have the versatility, just like similar to Daniel. You know, we used Daniel at both spots, and he was effective at both of them, and so I think it'd be good for Cameron that way as well.
Did you see, talking about Will Schamberger, have you seen some things that the redshirt year in him allowed him to get to this point right now that maybe otherwise would have maybe hampered him a little bit?
Well, just you know, he sat in so many meetings, you know, so for a guy that's had his first 5 practices now, they aren't really his first 5 because he's been in so many meetings, he's seen so much football, it's not totally foreign to him, you know, there is some familiarity there.
Are you seeing the same thing with Chris Robinson? Because it looks like Chris is getting a lot of work inside.
Yeah, Chris has been very active inside. I've been impressed. And I think with both of those guys, their comfort level with their knees is there. That, you know, okay, it's still there at the end of the play. Okay, it didn't fall off. Okay, I can go a little harder now on the next snap. And just that comfort level has been big for him as well.
The session you do where the guys take the helmets off, what's
it's just a walkthrough. Yeah. It's a walkthrough, somewhat of a fit drill walkthrough where, you know, the offense is really running the same play 3 times in a row, and the defense is putting 3 different defenses at it, and we're just trying to expand our football knowledge and understand how things work and how they fit together. So it's a very slowed down pace where we're really trying to teach.
And so having the helmets off does what?
Well, it makes guys not want to butt heads and it be more than what it needs to be. It's not a contact team period. It's a walkthrough. It's about teaching at that time.
Is that something you did last year? Or
no, that's new.
How did it come from anywhere?
Well, normally, if you guys have seen us before, we normally hold cards up, and the offensive guys service the offense, and the defense goes at their end and services the defense. We just thought it'd be a way to bring the 2 groups together, split up 1s and 1s, 2s and 2s, and service each other where they're getting valuable reps, not reading a card and doing something on the opposite side of the ball.
Steve, how long was Jonathan Cooper's run? Could you tell?
Oh, I'm guessing 60, 70 yards. Yeah. I'm not real sure. He could have went for a lot more. You know, I don't think they were going to catch him.
Yeah. Also, just inside as opposed to outside, what are you getting from the inside practices?
Well, I just try to pay attention to all these really smart weathermen out there, and they kept telling me there's going to be a big storm today, and so we just try to beat the storm and come inside, and I kept looking out those doors. It looks pretty sunny, and the lake looks good, so we might have missed it today. So.
Sorry, Mike.